What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports back to you guys with another video. In this video, I'm going to be going by week predicting the wins and losses for the Washington Redskins, their 2019 NFL record prediction. So, before I begin, if you're a fan of the NFL and enjoy NFL content, make sure to subscribe to this channel because I upload NFL videos daily. So, make sure to subscribe and make sure to hit the bell icon so you're always alerted when I upload a new video. So, the Washington Redskins, if their wide receiving core was a lot better, which is pretty much they have probably the worst receiving core in the NFL. If their wide receiving core was a lot improved or at least average, this would be a very, very good team. And this team could make a very deep run in the playoffs if their wide receiving core was a lot better than what it looks like on paper. And also, Jay Gruden is going into a key year. This is the last year of his contract. And if he doesn't do good, he could very much end up back being the offensive coordinator for another team next year. So they drafted Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins is going to be a starter because look, you drafted Dwayne Haskins top 15. Jay Gruden wouldn't have let the Washington Redskins drafted him that high in the draft if he knew the stakes and how pivotal this season was because he could have easily drafted another talented player with that pick. So very key year for him, and Dwayne Haskins, in my opinion, will be the starter. So week one, they play the Philadelphia Eagles at Philadelphia. I have them taking a loss here. The Philadelphia Eagles are just a better team to me, even though the Washington Redskins can get right with the Philadelphia Eagles up front because of how good the Washington Redskins defensive line is. Their defensive line is one of the best in all of football. So I believe they will challenge the Philadelphia Eagles up front. It will be a close game, but overall, I think the Philadelphia Eagles will win because they're the more talented team. Second week of the season, they play the Dallas Cowboys at home. I have them taking another loss here as well. The Dallas Cowboys are just a completely better team. And although the Washington Redskins defense is going to keep them in games, I just think the Washington Redskins offense, they're just going to have to run the ball. They're going to stack the box, and they're going to force Dwayne Haskins to have to beat them through the air. And I don't think Dwayne Haskins is going to be the problem. I just think the wide receivers are going to be the problem. And the Dallas Cowboys have a wide pretty good cornerback core. Week three, they play the Chicago Bears at home, their second straight home game before they go on the road. And this is a very good matchup because look, Mitchell Trubisky, this is a game that I could see him struggling in because of how good the Washington Redskins are up front. And also their secondary is solid. It's not elite, but it's pretty solid with Josh Norman. Then they have Dominique Rodgers Camardi. Then they have Landon Collins playing safety. So pretty tricky matchup for the Chicago Bears, but the Washington Redskins, I just don't know if their wide receivers are going to be able to create a lot of separation because this Chicago Bears defense is very, very phenomenal. But it's Monday night, and I think they pull up the upset. I think Jay Gruden outcoaches Matt Nagy. Jay Gruden is one of the best football minds in the NFL, so he could outcoach Matt Nagy. And I'm going to give the Washington Redskins a big and well-needed victory here. So they're 1-2. Week four, they're at New York playing the New York Giants. The New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. The Washington Redskins to me have a better roster, but if they had the receiving core that the New York Giants had, then they would be probably one of the best teams in the NFL. But the New York Giants, traded Odell Beckham, so they're going through a lot of turnaround. So this game could pretty much go either way. But I'm going to go with the Washington Redskins getting the better of that matchup. Week five, they play the New England Patriots. I'm gonna give them a loss there. There's no way that they lose. There's no way that New England Patriots lose to the Washington Redskins. The New England Patriots are better. I would say that the Washington Redskins could stand a chance because of how good their defensive line is. But also, you got to look at how good the New England Patriots offensive line is too. And this is one of the best Patriots teams ever. So the New England Patriots are going to win this game. Week six, they're playing the Miami Dolphins at Miami. They're beating the Miami Dolphins. Their defensive line is just going to be too much for the Miami Dolphins offensive line, which isn't really that good. Week seven, they play the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers are probably one of the most improved teams going into the 2019 NFL season. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Now, the Washington Redskins defensive line versus the San Francisco 49ers offensive line is going to be an interesting matchup to see because their offensive line is I'm trying to see. I don't really know how good the offensive line is, so this would be a very good game to test out and see how far and how good San Francisco 49ers are as a football team. And when we talk about the Washington Redskins offensive line, at this point, will they be able to stay healthy? Because they're going to have to be fully healthy if they want to stand a chance of winning this game. Because you're going to have to face Nick Bosa and DeForest Buckner, and also D Ford. That's a very scary pass rushing duo that I wouldn't want to face if I was coaching as Jay Gruden. So I'm going to give the Washington Redskins a loss here. I just think the San Francisco 49ers are a better team. Week 8, Thursday night, they're playing the Minnesota Vikings on the road during a short week. Now, the Minnesota Vikings off the line, it's not very good, but other than the offensive line, when you look at how talented they are at every position, other than the offensive line, they could pretty much annihilate the Washington Redskins. But I just think the Washington Redskins are going to get the better of that matchup up front, and that's why I got the Washington Redskins winning this game. When you go into like how good the Washington Redskins defense is, their secondary is solid. The front seven is probably one of the best in all, not the best, but one of the best in all of football. And I just think it's a short week. Minnesota on a short week, they might be reeling. I know it's at home, but I just think Washington Redskins. The When you just look at all the factors, this just looks like an upset. Week 9, they're playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is a very interesting game. Both of these teams, in my opinion, are very evenly matched, and they're kind of similar because young quarterbacks. You also have receiving cores that, eh. Now, the Buffalo Bills receiving core is a little bit better, but I don't really like the receivers that they have. They got John Brown, Cole Beasley. I still believe Zay Jones is their best wide receiver on their roster. He has a lot of potential. But both of these teams are pretty evenly matched. They have very good defensive lines, very solid defenses, very good defenses actually. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. But I'm going to give the Buffalo Bills the advantage just because they're going to be on the road, and I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be able to pull off the victory. Even though this game could pretty much go either way, Week 11, after coming off a bye, they have a bye week, week 10. They're playing the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets are very improved, but their offensive line isn't. And that's why I had the Washington Redskins winning this game because Washington Redskins' defensive line is just going to be too much for them to handle. Now, week 12, this is going to be a very big matchup because going in, the Washington Redskins are 5-5. And at this point, they are in the playoff picture. They're in the hunt at this point. And basically, they're trying to, get into the playoffs. And this is a very tough stretch, in my opinion, because a lot of these teams on paper the Washington Redskins could beat, but these are games that pretty much can go either way. So the Lions and the Redskins, this is basically a coin toss flip. Both of these teams are very physical. I really like how both of these teams look on one another on paper. So this game could go either way, but I'm going to say the Washington Redskins lose to the Detroit Lions because the Detroit Lions are too improved. And I just think their defense is going to get the better of the Washington Redskins offense. Despite their offense is going to be pretty solid running the ball, but I just think the Washington Redskins wide receivers, their cornerbacks for the Detroit Lions, they're very, very good. Cheese Taylor is going to be very improved. Justin Coleman was one of the best slot corners in all of football for the Seattle Seahawks last year. And also, we already know Darius Slay is one of the best cornerbacks in all of football. So I think the Washington Redskins go 5-6 here. Then they play the Carolina Panthers. Now this should be a very entertaining matchup because the Washington Redskins receivers aren't that good, but the Carolina Panthers defensive backs, other than Dante Jackson and Eric Reed, they're not good also. So this is going to be a very good matchup. This matchup could go either way, but I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers just because they're playing at home. Week 14, they're back on the road again, their third straight home game or away game, playing the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Now, this is a very good matchup. Also, because of how good the Washington Redskins defensive line is. I know you guys keep on hearing me talking about the Washington Redskins defensive line. Their defensive line is very, very good. Their defensive line combined for 20 sacks total. That's very impressive. Now, week 14, they're playing Aaron Rodgers, having losing this game, even though I think this game could teeter either way. But I just think Aaron Rodgers is going to be the difference maker, and Dwayne Haskins being a young quarterback. I think this is a very tough environment at Lambeau Field, asking a young quarterback to win the game, and it's going to be snowing. So Week 15, they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, they could beat this Philadelphia Eagles team. And at this point, I'm gonna tell you guys why this is a very scary game if you're an Eagles fan. Because look, at this point, the Washington Redskins, they're what, 5-8. Now they're not completely out of the playoff picture because if they win these last 3 games, including this Philadelphia Eagles game, they could potentially make it into the playoffs or at least make it interesting. And also, they're not just fighting to get into the playoffs and savor their season, but they're fighting to keep their coach Jay Gruden as their head coach. Because I think the Washington Redskins, they love Jay Gruden and what he does as a coach. And I think Jay Gruden has had bad luck over the last couple of seasons with all the injuries that he had to face. So this is going to be a very tough game for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they very much could lose this game. But I'm just going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I just can't see them lose to the Washington Redskins. Week 16, the Washington Redskins play the New York Giants. Now both of these teams, they're pretty much out of the playoff picture at this point. But I'm gonna go with the New York Giants. I can't see the Washington Redskins beating the New York Giants twice. And then they're playing week 17, they're playing the Dallas Cowboys. Pretty much the Dallas Cowboys could be rushing their starters because they're going to have a home field advantage or the playoffs already locked up. So they rest their starters, and the Washington Redskins could win this game. So the record that I have for the Washington Redskins is 6-10. Now I think the Washington Redskins are better than 6-10, and a lot of these games could go the other way. They could beat the Panthers. They could beat the Packers. They could beat the Lions. So those 4 games could go, or 3 games could go either way, including the Buffalo game. Those 4 games could change the record, and they could potentially be a 10-win team. But I just think their division is too tough for them, and I just think their wide receiving core is going to be their Achilles heel. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos and content. And thanks for watching.